The sun over the Colorado mountains was bright and kind, rising over the foothills of Denver and painting the world in soft gold. Each morning felt like a new beginning, a gentle reminder that some places are meant to be cherished. The golden light spilled into the valley, warming the fields and waking up the sleepy town below. It was as if the sun itself was blessing the land, promising another day of memories and stories. Nestled beside a sleepy creek was the Golden Spike Railroad Museum, a place built of old wood, polished brass, and the lingering scent of coal smoke. The museum stood as a living memory, its walls echoing with laughter and the distant whistle of trains. This was Jack and Emily's place, inherited from their grandpa, along with a promise: keep the trains running. It was more than a duty. It was a bond that tied them to their past and to each other. Jack, older by 2 years, had Grandpa's strong hands, good for fixing engine number 4, knowing its every sound. He could sense when something was off, just by the way the engine breathed, or the tracks hummed beneath his feet. Emily had Grandpa's curious eyes, seeing stories in every seat and photo, sharing them with visitors. She loved to imagine the lives of passengers from long ago, weaving their tales into the museum's daily rhythm. Their friends Maya and Liam were part of the museum's heart too. Together the four of them made the old place feel alive, filling it with energy and hope. Maya's laughter lit up the ticket booth, making every child feel special. She had a way of turning even the simplest ticket into a golden invitation to adventure. Liam, quiet and thoughtful, tended the miniature train set, creating a perfect world in miniature. His careful hands brought tiny landscapes to life, delighting visitors young and old. Together they were a family, bound by love for this place. Their friendship was as sturdy as the rails, and their laughter echoed through the halls. They worked, laughed, and kept the museum alive. Every day brought new challenges, but also new reasons to smile and remember why they kept going. On weekends they'd fire up engine number 4, its whistle echoing through the valley, a sound of happiness and a promise kept. The train's journey was a celebration, a living tribute to their grandpa's dream. The museum was more than a building, it was their grandpa's heart, still beating in the valley. Every photograph, every artifact was a piece of his story, and now theirs too. The trains ran, the stories lived, and the promise endured. Visitors came and went, but the spirit of the place remained, strong and unwavering. This was their legacy, and they cherished every moment, knowing that as long as the trains ran and laughter filled the air, their grandpa's promise would never fade. But a shadow crept over the sunny valley, not from clouds but from something far heavier, something that settled quietly and refused to leave. It was a shadow cast by numbers that didn't add up, by bills that seemed to multiply overnight, and by the quiet dread that comes with every unopened envelope. Letters in official envelopes arrived, each one heavier than the last. Jack hid them away, tucking them into drawers and behind books, hoping the problem would disappear if he just ignored it long enough. He tried to carry the burden alone, believing it was his responsibility to protect Emily and their friends from the truth. He didn't want to worry them, so he kept his fears hidden behind a forced smile. But the worry was relentless, seeping into every corner of his life. Even the joyful sounds of the museum, the laughter of children, the whistle of model trains, became reminders of trouble he couldn't escape. One quiet afternoon, Emily found Jack sitting alone in the engine cab, staring at the unopened letters in his hands, his shoulders slumped under the invisible weight. She didn't need to ask what was wrong. The truth was written on his face, in the lines of worry and the tiredness in his eyes. Together, they opened the letters: overdue, foreclosure, final notice. Each envelope revealed another piece of bad news, another deadline missed, another threat to the place they loved. The reality hit hard. The museum was in deep trouble, owing more money than they could imagine. The numbers on the page felt impossible, like a mountain they could never climb. The bank wanted payment and they wanted it soon. If Jack and Emily couldn't find a way, the doors would close forever, and the museum would be lost to the past. The thought was crushing. Closing meant breaking their promise to the community, to each other, and to the memory of those who built the museum. It meant losing their home, their purpose, and their dreams. The shadow was now a wall, blocking the tracks ahead, making the future feel unreachable and uncertain. Jack and Emily sat in silence, the weight of fear pressing down on them, their hands clasped tightly as if holding on could keep the darkness at bay. The future of the Golden Spike Railroad Museum was suddenly uncertain, the once bright path ahead now shrouded in doubt and worry. Their promise to Grandpa was at risk, and the legacy they hoped to protect seemed to be slipping through their fingers. The valley felt colder than ever, as if the weight of worry had chilled the very air around them. The next morning, Maya and Liam found Jack and Emily sitting quietly on the station steps. The air was cool and the world felt hushed, as if the whole town was holding its breath. The usual bustle was gone, silence hung heavy, wrapping around them like a thick blanket. Even the birds seemed to sense the weight of the moment. Maya sat beside Emily, offering comfort, while Liam quietly joined Jack. No one needed to say much. Their presence was enough to show they cared.
It's the letters. They're all from Grandpa, and now they feel heavier than ever. The bank wants more than we have. It's like every word on this paper is a mountain we have to climb. I tried to handle it, but it's too much. I thought I could fix it, but I can't do it alone.
What if we let Grandpa down? What if we can't save the museum he loved so much? What if all the memories disappear? What if everything he worked for just fades away?
Their sadness was shared, but Maya's determination sparked hope. She looked at her friends and saw not just worry, but strength waiting to be found. We're a team, we don't give up. We face things together no matter how hard they seem. There's still so much love here. As long as we have each other, we have a chance.
My dad says big problems are just small ones stuck together. Maybe we can break them apart and solve them one at a time. Let's find the first small problem to solve. If we start somewhere, maybe the rest will follow.
They realized they didn't have to fix everything at once. The weight felt lighter when shared, and together they could take it one step at a time. Just take the next step. Even a small step forward was progress, and that was enough for now. Sitting together, they felt the warmth of friendship return. The fear didn't vanish, but it softened in the glow of their togetherness. They weren't just four kids facing a crisis, they were a crew. United, they could face anything. The heart of the engine beat a little stronger. Together they would try, and that was what mattered most. The promise wasn't broken yet. As long as hope remained, so did the chance for a new beginning. Hope flickered in the morning light, and with it, the belief that together, they could find a way forward. Seeking comfort, the friends gathered in the old dining car, the mountain rose. Surrounded by faded velvet and soft lamplight, they shared memories and fears.
Grandpa saved engine number 4 from a scrapyard. He taught me every bolt mattered. Anything broken could be fixed with enough love.
He taught me to tell stories, to remember the people behind the trains. What if we forget them? What if we fail him?
You've kept this place alive. You could never fail him.
People love coming here. They're not just seeing trains, they're remembering their own stories.
The museum wasn't just about their grandpa's memory, it was about everyone's. That had to be worth something. Their fears eased, replaced by a fragile hope. The mountain rose held their dreams and doubts, gently. They weren't alone in this fight. The stories would live on, if they could find a way. The promise still mattered, and so did they. The bank gave them 2 weeks. The end felt inevitable.
We decided to host one last event, the farewell tour.
We'd fire up engine number 4 for a final run, invite everyone for a free ride, and say goodbye.
The day arrived under a somber sky. Jack, Emily, and their friends worked in silence, hearts heavy.
I polished the engine's bell, but it felt like saying goodbye to a friend.
I placed wildflowers on the tables, but the colors seemed out of place.
Families walked the museum slowly. Old-timers shared quiet stories, and children watched with wide eyes. Everyone knew this was the end. Jack pulled the whistle cord. A long, mournful sound echoed through the valley. The train began its slow, final journey.
I kept my eyes on the tracks, unable to face the crowd.
I watched the station shrink in the distance, my home fading away.
A single tear traced Emily's cheek. The promise felt lost. The valley was silent. On that last ride, Liam noticed a young woman with a notebook, Sarah, a local blogger and former visitor. After the ride, Sarah approached the friends asking to hear their story.
We sat on the platform and told her everything about Grandpa, the promise, the joy, and the debt.
We shared our fears and the pain of saying goodbye.
Sarah listened, her pen flying, understanding that this was more than a business. It was a broken heart. She thanked them, her voice full of emotion. "Your grandpa would be proud," she said. "You've honored him." The friends felt seen, their story finally heard. As the sun set, hope flickered. Maybe their story wasn't over. Maybe someone would care. The promise still mattered, and now, others knew it too. Sarah poured their story into a blog post, The Last Whistle in the Valley. She wrote of legacy, love, and a promise kept, sharing photos and memories. At the end, she linked to a fundraising page, hoping for a miracle. The story spread, first locally, then across the country. People who loved trains, who cherished memories, shared it. Comments flooded in, memories, encouragement, small donations. $5, $10, $20 at a time, hope trickled in. The internet became a place of kindness. Each donation was a drop of hope, each comment a reminder they weren't alone. The story's power grew, like steam building in an engine. The promise was alive in every shared memory. The valley's silence was broken by voices of support. The future was uncertain, but hope was real. The story had changed everything. In the days that followed, the museum buzzed with new life. Volunteers arrived, carpenters, gardeners, painters, all offering help.
A retired carpenter fixed the platform, asking nothing in return.
The gardening club revived the flower beds.
A painting company restored the passenger cars to bright red. Donations poured in, small but steady, from thousands. The community, near and far, rallied to save the museum. One day, a foundation executive visited, moved by Sarah's story. She toured the museum, saw the love in every detail, and made a decision.
She told us, "Your grandfather built a community. You've reminded everyone of that?"
The foundation matched every dollar raised and paid off the entire debt.
I burst into happy tears.
I just smiled, truly smiled, for the first time in weeks.
The museum was saved, not just by money, but by love. The promise was stronger than ever. The valley was full of hope. The museum's reopening was a celebration. Blue skies, laughter, and a crowd of supporters. The platform was packed, the cars gleamed, and the flower beds bloomed. A banner read, "Welcome home, Golden Spike." Jack, Emily, Maya, and Liam stood with the community that saved them.
Thank you. You've saved more than a museum. You've saved a home and honored a legacy.
I climbed into engine number 4, feeling Grandpa's spirit with me. With a grin, I pulled the whistle cord.
A triumphant blast echoed through the valley. It was the sound of a second chance, of community, of a promise kept. The museum was alive again, ready for new stories. The future was bright. The heart of the valley beat strong. Full steam ahead. The promise would endure.